Hey everybody, welcome back to Floodlights. I'm Kat Caldwell. Today we are continuing our reading of Proverbs. We are on Proverbs chapter 12. And again, I am reading from the Message translation. Chapter 12. If you love learning, you love the discipline that goes with it. How short-sighted to refuse correction. A good person basks in the delight of God, and he wants nothing to do with devious schemers. You can't find firm footing in a swamp, but life rooted in God stands firm. A hearty wife invigorates her husband, but a frigid woman is cancer in the bones. The thinking of principled people makes for justice. The plots of degenerates corrupt. The words of the wicked kill. The speech of the upright saves. Wicked people fall to pieces. There's nothing to them. The homes of good people hold together. A person who talks sense is honored. Airheads are held in contempt. Better to be ordinary and work for a living than act important and starve in the process. Good people are good to their animals. The good-hearted, bad people kick and abuse them. The one who stays on the job has food on the table. The witless chase whims and fancies. What the wicked construct finally falls into ruin, while the roots of the righteous give life, and more life. The gossip of bad people gets them in trouble. The conversation of good people keeps them out of it. Well-spoken words bring satisfaction. Well-done work has its own reward. Fools are headstrong and do what they like. Wise people take advice. Fools have short fuses and explode all too quickly. The prudent quietly shrug off insults. Truthful witness by a good person clears the air, but liars lay down a smoke screen of deceit. Rash language cuts and maims, but there is healing in the words of the wise. Truth lasts. Lies are here today, gone tomorrow. Evil scheming distorts the schemer. Peace planning brings joy to the planner. No evil can overwhelm a good person, but the wicked have their hands full of it. God can't stomach liars. He loves the company of those who keep their word. Prudent people don't flaunt their knowledge. Talkative fools broadcast their silliness. The diligent find freedom in their work. The lazy are oppressed by work. Worry weighs us down. A cheerful word picks us up. A good person survives misfortune, but a wicked life invites disaster. A lazy life is an empty life, but early to rise gets the job done. Good men and women travel right into life. Sin's detours take you straight to hell. That is chapter 12. I just have a couple notes on it. Again, Solomon is using these short little two-liners of truth, going through and just trying to penetrate the truth into people, the reader. There's a lot of things in this chapter, just as always, that really hit home. I think that when truth hits you, whether you are a believer in Jesus Christ or not, your spirit knows what truth is. You really understand when somebody talks to you in this sort of manner. There's something about it that just revives your spirit, that you know that that's the truth. You know that this is a sort of code to live by. In verse 9 in the Message, it says, better to be ordinary and work for a living than act important and starve in the process. So I just want to tell you what the Amplified Bible says. It translates it as, better is the one who is slighted but has a servant than he who honors himself but lacks bread. So both of them clearly say pretty much the same thing, but I like how it reiterates, there's really nothing wrong with quote unquote ordinary. You having your small business or even your big business, you having your workers, you providing work for others, you working day in and day out to provide for your family, to provide for your employees. People might see that as ordinary, but that is honorable. And it is better to be that person than to be the one who walks around tooting his own horn and has nothing to show for it. And that can really be seen even if you're a student, if you're younger. It is better for you to be sitting and studying and living sort of that ordinary life, that ordinary student life, than to be the one that walks around talking all about himself, doing whatever he wants, and really has nothing to show for it in the end. It goes on to say in verse 10, good people are good to their animals. So this is something that you have to understand, sort of how people lived in ancient times. You know, people have always had pets to some degree. The Egyptians had really revered cats, but it was unusual to really treat your animals in a kind manner. It just, animals were there to feed you. They were there as, a commodity for you. But so this is really pointing, like, if you are a righteous man, you are righteous, or woman, please don't get into that. If you are a righteous person, if we're Canadian, we'll say that, you will bring your righteousness, your righteous acts, just to the extreme. So this is where righteousness gets into your heart. And righteousness being you are living the truth. You are living to your best ability. Again, righteousness doesn't mean that you are perfect. It means that you are living with integrity, with honor, treating people well, exactly how you want to be treated. So that will carry over even into animals. And so at that time, that would have been odd to see a man or woman really treating their animals with honor. But a righteous person would carry that into all things. And it says, but the good-hearted, and it has quotes around that, like, quote unquote, good-hearted, bad people kick and abuse them. So people who claim that they are good-hearted, you really see what's in their heart by their actions. And this is a theme that goes along throughout the Bible, that you will be known by your actions. Your actions will show what's actually in your heart. A lot of times your mouth will speak what's actually in your heart. So evil people can talk a big talk. They can say how great they are. And evil, again, being people who are not living for the truth. They are not living in fear of God, in awe of God. They're really just living for themselves. But even to their most sensitive point, they will end up still being cruel even to humans, and even to their animals. So then it goes on to sort of giving, what is a righteous person or wise person. In verse 14, a well-spoken words bring satisfaction. Well done work has its own reward. This goes into words and work. They can be good or they can be bad. They can bring good or they can bring bad. So your bad words can bring dissatisfaction, or your well-spoken words can bring satisfaction. Your well-done work will bring its own reward. You will get rewarded for it. That's just a truth. Your bad work is not going to bring any reward. And you can't really change that. There might be a time in which you think, the cheater in your office or the cheater in your class, it looks like they're getting some reward. But even people who don't believe in God believe usually in some sort of karma, like they will get their end. That's because this is a truth that's been spoken, and God hasn't changed it. This is it. He loves justice, and people will get their just reward. So if their work is good, they will get rewarded. If their work is bad, they're not going to get their reward. So verse 17, truthful witness by a good person clears the air. Again, that goes to when you hear truth, your spirit knows it. So a truthful witness, one who just has that honor about them, that integrity, they can come in and they can clear the air. And this, when we used to work sort of by the honor system, when a person who was considered to be honorable in the society, when they spoke, people listened. Because they knew that person to have integrity, to be fair, to be honorable. And so they knew that that person was going to speak the truth. A lazy life is an empty life, but early to rise gets the job done. I would say, and this again, because it is truth, it goes into everyone, even if you are listening to this and you're not a believer in Jesus Christ. But Christians, wake up. You don't get to sit around and do nothing on this earth. Life is not magic. Your reward, it does not come magically. You have to have faith in God and do what you were called to do. Jesus coming has not changed anything. We should not be sitting around doing nothing. It even says in the New Testament, the harvest is ripe, is plentiful. Go out. You have been put on a course to do work in this world. It is wonderful to be a born-again Christian because you have the helper and the comforter, the Holy Spirit. You have the wisdom in the Bible. You have the full truth. You know that you are protected and you can grow your faith that way. But you definitely don't get to sit back and say, well, I'm just going to wait around. I'm saved. I'm not going to do anything. A lazy life will still be an empty life. If you are lazy, even if you are saved, you will have an empty life. You do not have to work for your righteousness. Jesus died on the cross for you to be set free from sin. You are saved. You have been set free. You are righteous through Him. But you don't get to sit around and be lazy and expect a full life. The truth still applies. So I just want to encourage you to get up and get out there and get moving and go forth into what God has called you to do. Take a step every single day towards your goals, towards your future, towards what you believe God has created you to be. That is it for chapter 12. I will be back tomorrow with chapter 13 in our continuation of Proverbs. Until next time, see you later.